The consequences of selfishness and laziness can be severe. Just because two older brothers did not receive the same share of inheritance as their younger sibling, they became bitter and resentful. One day, the younger sibling's family began facing repeated attacks from snakes. Family members suffered mysterious injuries and hardships, one by one. Initially, people thought it was a temporary coincidence, but when they discovered a book with strange symbols and various snake-related items, the truth became clear. Daniel, who possesses the ability to perceive spiritual phenomena and often travels far from home for work, shared this story. This account was sent to the channel after Daniel heard it from someone close to the situation, and he himself had witnessed some of the eerie events. Daniel often wondered if fate prevented him from working near home, as he always had to travel. Staying in one place never seemed stable. On one occasion, Daniel accompanied a friend, Michael, to a coffee plantation in Asheville, North Carolina. He arrived there in September 2024 and worked until nearly New Year. The friend guiding him, named Michael, had connections with the plantation owner, earning them trust. When they arrived, someone helped bring them into the property, but Daniel requested to keep the exact location private to protect those involved. Upon entering the plantation, Daniel was struck by its beauty. However, deeper inside, there were areas where vehicles could not pass and needed to be pushed over rough terrain. Once inside, the plantation felt overwhelmingly vast. Coffee branches were heavily laden, bending to the ground, and weeds had grown thickly before coming here. Michael had explained that the plantation provided meals, lodging, and basic supplies, and workers could enjoy small meals or light drinks. Their job was mainly to clear the ground around the coffee trees. Branches that were rubbing the soil too much needed to be cut, and others were propped up with sticks. Before harvesting, long silver sheets were laid along the rows to catch falling beans. After collecting the beans, they sifted through leaves and debris and finally filled sacks and tied them securely. Daniel thought the work seemed simple, but experiencing it firsthand was exhausting and satisfying. Those who had done this work before would know how demanding it could be, because Michael knew the family of the plantation owner. They were trusted to work there. When the harvest season began, Daniel was repeatedly asked to return. The plantation owner, Mr. Green, was welcoming. Though Daniel did not inquire about his ethnicity, Mr. Green appeared friendly. That year, he was 55. Observing Daniel, Mr. Green asked jokingly if he was capable of the work, to which Daniel just smiled, unsure yet willing to try. Once committed, Daniel had no choice but to follow through. That evening, the family held a small feast to celebrate the upcoming harvest. Mr. Green's wife, whom Daniel would call Lily, had 4 children, 2 sons and 2 daughters. 3 older children had already established their own families, while Mr. Green and Lily lived with the youngest daughter, then 19. After the evening meal, Mr. Green led Daniel and Michael to a tree house used for resting. The tree house was elevated about 10 feet above the ground, built from a large tree with a wooden platform and partitions. Daniel thought to himself that staying there in the cold would be challenging. While trying to sleep in the treehouse, Daniel tossed and turned. Michael told him to rest because the next day would be full of work. The place was full of strange occurrences. Daniel was startled, as he had been chosen for this experience because of his ability to perceive spirits. The cold weather added to the sense of unease. Daniel shivered, attributing it to the chill, but curiosity grew when Michael mentioned local supernatural events. Michael only knew the story partially from Mr. Green's family, not every detail. Daniel decided to ask Mr. Green about it later. That night, after some sleep, Daniel saw Lily had already prepared breakfast. Unfamiliar with morning meals, Daniel asked for a simple snack, which she provided him. Behind the kitchen, there was a small shrine with incense and offerings near a termite mound. Daniel initially ignored it, thinking it was a ritual for agricultural blessings. After finishing breakfast, everyone went to the plantation to begin work. Mr. Green instructed them to prioritize the areas with the ripest coffee cherries. Overgrown weeds and plants were trimmed carefully, and fallen beans collected. Carrying coffee sacks to the collection point was strenuous, but Daniel gradually adapted. At night, alcohol was consumed lightly to ease fatigue. One evening, while Daniel went to check outside, he noticed a shadowy figure at the staircase. The light from a small U-shaped bulb illuminated a dark silhouette with glowing eyes that vanished instantly. Daniel reassured himself that it was just his imagination and continued. During the days, Daniel and Michael sometimes encountered a very large snake, nearly the size of an adult's arm. They attempted to chase it away, but Mr. Green advised against harming it. Michael suspected that it was fed by wildlife on nearby properties. Daniel asked about the shrine behind the house. Mr. Green explained that this land had been in the family for generations. His father had 4 younger brothers who lived recklessly and eventually left, renting or selling parts of their land. Mr. Green's household endured many challenges due to this family history. One day, Daniel witnessed a close call when the second son had an encounter with a snake. After that, unusual events, sometimes supernatural in nature, affected the household. Mr. Green grew more unpredictable and aggressive. Spiritual healers from the village tried to help, but the cause remained unknown. Eventually, Mr. Green passed away. Afterward, supernatural events persisted around the property, with occasional sightings of spirits resembling deceased family members. Daniel and Michael followed instructions to perform respectful rituals, maintaining safety and peace. The household gradually cleaned and reorganized the property. Old houses were dismantled. They discovered boxes with dried snake skin, preserved remains, and cryptic books, which were removed to prevent further disturbances. Over time, the supernatural activity decreased. Years later, Lily married. The spirits of deceased family members occasionally appeared near the old plantation, particularly around the pond where the second son had his snake encounter. Snakes were observed, but never entered the house or harmed the family. Daniel and Michael maintained rituals to honor the family's ancestors and ensure that the property remained safe.